Hi everyone, and welcome to my Spookathon reading vlog. I'm sorry if the computer fan in the background is kind of loud, but I'm running iMovie. My computer can never handle iMovie, so the fan is always really loud. But I just went to edit this video, and I don't know how this keeps happening, but for the second time this month, I either deleted my intro to my vlog, or I just never hit record in the first place, but I don't have an intro, so here we are. And I'm actually really annoyed about this one because it was like a pretty good intro, and I know I mentioned things that I wanted to say, but now I can't remember what those things were. So if I ever, like, during this video refer back to something I said in the intro, I'm really sorry that it won't make any sense. But for the most part, all you really need to know was that on the first day, I started reading Midnight at the Bright Ideas bookstore. The next clip you're going to see is later on in the day when I give you a little update on this book. You're not missing too much by missing this intro, but I just wanted to give you a little backstory. So yeah, hopefully you will enjoy the rest of this video, and yeah, just roll the footage. So it's about 6 o'clock now. I haven't read as much as I wanted to. I've kind of been lazy today, but that is okay because it is my one of 2 days off. But I did just reach the 100-page mark of Midnight at the Bright Ideas bookstore. I'm on page 102 to be exact, and I am really enjoying it still. I don't really know what's going on. I have a little bit of a hunch because in this book there's basically the current mystery that's going on, and then there's also her past where there was I obviously don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there was a killer that was never identified, so you're still kind of curious as about who that was, and I don't know if that ever is going to be explored in this, if you find out who the killer is, or if that was just supposed to be a part of her past. But I have a little hunch as to who that person was. I don't want to say it just because that could be considered a spoiler. If I am right or if I am wrong, then it could take it away from somebody else. So yeah, I'm not going to say who I think it is, but it also doesn't fully add up because of the age, because it would have taken place in the past and then how old they are now, if that makes sense. It's not probably going to because I'm trying to be very vague, but yeah, I have a little hunch, but I'm probably wrong, and honestly I kind of hope I'm wrong because the character that I think it is I actually really like, so yeah, I'm all over the place right now. But I am going to go make myself some dinner now, and I'm not really sure what I want to have, but let's go see. So here we are in my kitchen. There's a fly flying around here, and if he keeps this up, he's gonna lose his life in a second. So I'm gonna make myself some dinner. I'll be honest, I've been eating very unhealthy lately. I'm also a depressed eater, a stress eater, and I eat when I'm bored, and lately those are the only 3 things I've been, so I've been eating a lot. So I have been eating a lot of frozen food, was basically where I'm getting with that, and I should really stop, but I'm not going to tonight, so. So tonight I am going to make myself some Friday's potato skins with cheddar cheese and bacon. Very unhealthy, probably, I don't know, but very delicious. Kind of nervous about making these though, because I made a bigger size of this the other day, and it said the recommended time to keep it in the oven for was way too long, and they ended up kind of burning. So I have to keep a very steady eye on these, because these are even smaller, so they're gonna fry up even faster. Just lay all of these on there. Wow, the cheese to potato ratio isn't really my favorite, but that is that. Now I'm going to put these in the oven. So while those are baking in there, I am going to try and do the dishes. Like I said, I really have to keep an eye on those, so I don't know how well this is going to go. But that is that, and then I will probably chat with y'all later. And here's the finished product. Thankfully, they didn't burn. So I've got some sour cream, and I'm gonna eat and probably watch some Friends. So it is day 2 of Spookathon, and I just got home from work, so it's a little bit after 6 o'clock at night. But this morning I read up to page 206 in this book, and I am still really enjoying it. I don't know how much I talked about it last night, but I'm really enjoying it. It is super intriguing, and I just wanted to keep reading it. If I didn't have to go to work today, last night, I would have just kept on reading it until I finished it. So I'm more than halfway through it. I just have a little bit left, so I'm really hoping to finish it tonight and find out what the heck is going on, because yeah, this is a really intriguing story, and it's definitely a page turner that you just want to keep reading it. And then while I was at work today, I read a little bit of my ebook that I plan to read throughout the week, and that is Elevation by Stephen King. I think that's what it's called. I'm also pretty sure this is one of his newer books, And I don't know if like for this readathon you're supposed to just read spooky things, but this book I think is more on the side of like sci-fi, and it's not so much spooky as it is just kind of like a weird book. So I'm only a little bit into it. I don't even know what I'm up to, probably like 40 pages but of an ebook, so not very far at all. And now my camera battery is flashing, so I'm going to have to tell you more about that book a bit later, but for now I'm going to go eat dinner, read some more of this book, and charge my camera battery so that we can talk some more. So it's about 11:40 at night and I just finished Midnight at the Bright Ideas bookstore. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'll talk more about it probably tomorrow because I'm super tired, if you couldn't tell. But this also marks my 50th book read this year so far, so I'm glad it was a good one. So now I'm gonna go to sleep. Hey guys, so it is now the next day, which makes it day 3 of Spookathon. I think we have officially reached the point of the readathon where I start losing track of what day it is. But I just got home from work a little bit ago. I had to work from 9:30 to 5, so I haven't really gotten a whole lot of stuff done today. But last night, as you saw, I finished Midnight at the Bright Ideas bookstore, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, which I think I said last night. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't predict the ending in advance, but it was a pretty good ending. The only reason I didn't give it a higher rating was because, and I think I mentioned this before, there were a couple of issues that I had with the writing where it just didn't always flow right, or like the structure of a sentence just kind of looked weird to me, and I don't know why. But overall, I really enjoyed the story, I really enjoyed the characters, and yeah, it was a pretty good book, so I would definitely recommend it if you enjoy a good mystery or thriller. I actually feel like this lands more on the side of a mystery than a thriller, but I still think if you enjoy the thriller genre that you'll enjoy this, because there is still like a bit of an element of suspense to it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and at this point I've honestly forgot what the challenges are for Spookathon, but I think this completes the challenge of reading a book with red on the cover, a book with a spooky word in the title. We're gonna go with Midnight for this one, and I think you could probably use it for the challenge of reading a thriller, even though this is more of a mystery. But yeah, I really liked it. And then I also read a little bit more of my ebook today and last night, so I'm now on page 50 of 201 as far as like the ebook pages go. I honestly can't remember if I talked about this the other day or not, so I'll talk about it again here, but it's Elevation by Stephen King. It's, I think, more on the side of like sci-fi, or it's just like kind of a weird book. But so far from what I'm reading, it's about this guy who is like rapidly losing weight, but he doesn't physically look like he's losing weight, and like his clothes still fit him even though he's dropped like 70 pounds or something. And like if he steps on a scale with all of his clothes on, he weighs the same as if he stepped on that scale with all of his clothes off, or if he's like holding a bunch of heavy objects, he weighs exactly the same. So yeah, it's kind of like a weird concept, and I'm not really sure where exactly this story is going to go, but I'm like enjoying it. I'm intrigued enough to carry on. This is only the second Stephen King book I ever read, and there definitely is something like about his writing that is very intriguing, and it just flows really easy, and I was so not expecting that. For some reason I thought he would have really dense writing, but then when I read Carrie I was like, wow, this is like really easy to read, and I just like flew through that book, and I feel like I'm doing the same with this one. So that is where I'm up to with my reading. I don't know how much reading I'm actually going to get done tonight, because I was actually supposed to post a video today for VLOGOWEEN. I was supposed to edit that video last night, and I did not do that because I'll just be honest, because maybe there's somebody out there who's going through the same thing and can like relate to this and know that they're not the only one dealing with this right now. But I have been having like really bad mental health days, which is not always the nicest thing to admit to all of you guys, but mostly like even just to myself. But yeah, last night was not a very good night, so I didn't end up editing that video, and then today I've just kind of been like tired. So tonight I think I'm actually going to just like watch a movie. I might read a little bit, but I'm going to finish watching Scream. I started watching that yesterday because, fun fact, I've never actually seen any of the Scream movies before. So I decided to start watching it, and I'm only like, I don't know, maybe an hour into it, and it's actually pretty good. I was not expecting it to be as good as it is, because it is like made in the 90s, and older horror movies tend to be a little bit more cheesier, but it's actually like pretty good, and I like how it, like, the movie started and it was just right into like the creepy stuff. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. And I'm just gonna have like a coffee. I gotta wash my hair tonight. So I'm just gonna have like a little self-pamper, like relax night and just do what I feel like doing. And if that's reading, then I'll read. If it's just being lazy, then I'll do that. So yeah, that is all for now. I'll probably end up updating you tomorrow, or if I do read tonight, maybe I'll update you right before I go to bed. Hey friends, so it is the next night, day 4 of Spookathon, I want to say, but I could be mistaken. It's after 9 o'clock at night. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like a potato today. I got up and I went to work this morning, and I was just kind of at work all day, and then I came home, I edited and uploaded a video, and then ate my dinner, which is very rare that I'd ever put anything before eating my dinner as soon as I get home. But I really wanted to get that video up today because it was technically supposed to go up yesterday, because I gave myself Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as my schedule, fully knowing that I work a full-time job while also trying to read. I don't know why I thought I could upload 13 videos this month, but here we are. So I did that, and then I started reading The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I'm actually buddy reading this with Krista over at the Bookish Porcupine. I'm only about 32 pages into it, so I haven't gotten very far, but I feel like it could be a very fast-paced book. It's an adult thriller. We follow a woman who is working as like a live-in nanny, but it's told through letters that she's writing to someone that she wants to be her lawyer, because at the beginning of this book we learn that she is in jail because she is the main suspect in the murder of one of the children that she was nannying for. So she's like recounting the story to this person that she wants to be her lawyer. And I kept like screwing up the synopsis every time I explained this in a video beforehand, because I kept saying she was writing to, or I said she was like recounting the story to like a police detective or something like that, but it's actually told through letters to a lawyer, basically. Not too far off, but still. Like I said, I've only read 30 pages of it, so I can't really say if I'm liking it or not. I mean, the 30 pages I read were pretty good, and it's very intriguing so far already. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on reading this book tonight. I also read a little bit more of Elevation. I think I'm on page like 80 something of 200 in the ebook, so I'm almost halfway through it. And yeah, I'm just getting through that one like really slowly throughout the week. But yeah, that is probably all for tonight, and I will update you tomorrow because I have off from work tomorrow. So technically I can stay up as late as I want to. I shouldn't, but I can. So that might be what I end up doing, and just trying to read as much of this as possible. Hi guys, so it is now the next day, which makes it day 5, and I am looking extra festive today. I just filmed a video and I just edited it, so I'm sorry if you can hear my computer fan running in the background, because for some reason my computer just cannot handle iMovie. Whenever I open it, it makes the fan go on and my computer just overheats itself every time I try to edit something, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. But I am about 100 pages into The Turn of the Key, and I don't really know what to think of this book right now. Even though we're 100 pages in, I feel like the actual plot hasn't really started yet. Like, it was kind of a slow start. And there are a lot of descriptions in this book, which I get that the author is trying to be immersive and atmospheric, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad thing, but like we were joking about it last night, and I was like, if I was this lawyer who was reading these letters, I would be like, get to the point, because all of these descriptions, like, you have to have a lot of time on your hands if you were reading this as an actual letter. So yeah, there's just a lot of descriptions going on. And there's also like a personal preference thing for me when it comes to this book, which I was fully anticipating because I'd heard other people talk about it, and that is that, y'all know, I'm a very character-driven reader. I like to be connected to the characters or feel connected to them. I like to be able to root for them. Even if they're like morally gray characters, they're still characters that you can root for. But people have said, and I'm definitely finding that in this book, is that there aren't really characters to root for or to really connect to. So I'm not finding myself super invested in the story because I'm not super invested in the character. And if a book has a really strong storyline or plot, usually I can get past the fact that I'm not super invested in the characters. So that is what I'm really hoping will happen with this book. But yeah, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I am going to read some more of this. I think I might also watch a scary movie this afternoon. I watched Scream the other night. I think I talked about that. I'm not really sure, but I enjoyed that, so I think I might watch Scream 2 because that is on Netflix. So yeah, those are my plans for the afternoon, and I will update y'all later. So it's been an hour now, and I have not read a single page of my book. I have literally just been listening to music this entire time, but now I am about to start Scream 2. I'm very excited because I did really enjoy the first one. I've also got some Cheetos, so this is gonna be fun. I could also kiss this black lipstick goodbye because it's not gonna stand up to these things. So it's almost 11 o'clock at night now, and I have just been really lazy today, so I haven't read a whole lot of this, but I am on page 154. And the story is like finally starting to kind of pick up. It had a bit of a slow start, especially with all them descriptions, but it's finally starting to like get kind of creepy and suspenseful. It's kind of giving me like When a Stranger Calls vibes, which I'm not mad about at all. Like, that's one of my favorite movies. So yeah, I'm going to read some more of this tonight. I'd like to get up to at least page 200, but I also haven't finished Scream 2 yet, so I'd also like to finish watching that tonight. So I guess we'll just see what happens. Hi guys, so it's actually the final day of the readathon. I didn't film at all yesterday because I was at work for a lot of the day and then I was asleep for most of the rest of the day. So I just figured there wasn't a lot worth updating you on, so I just didn't bother filming. Sorry about that, but it is now the final day of the readathon. I have a little bit to update you on. It's like almost 8 o'clock at night. I just got home from work a little bit ago because it's a Sunday, so the shift is just one full shift from open to close. So I'm pretty tired, but I'm determined to finish all of the books for my readathon. So as far as my ebook, which I can't remember the name of for some reason, Elevation, is that what it's called? By, yes, Stephen King. I'm on page 156 of 202, so it shouldn't take me that much longer to finish reading that one. As far as my thoughts on that one, I'm not loving it. Like, I enjoy his writing, but I definitely think I prefer his horror books, and this is more of like a just sci-fi kind of weird story. And then with The Turn of the Key, I'm on page 250 of The Turn of the Key. And again, my thoughts on it are kind of the same as they were the last time I updated you. Like, I'm still enjoying it, but I'm not as into this as I thought I was going to be. I think I was very hyped for the story, especially because I loved the death of Mrs. Westaway so much, so I just expected a lot of great things from the story. And not to say that the book is bad, it's just more of that like personal preference thing for me where I really am a character-driven reader, and I just don't really care for any of these characters at all. But yeah, the plot of it is good. Like I said, I think I mentioned, it kind of has When a Stranger Calls vibes, because we're following like a nanny in like a very technologically advanced house, and that was like a big part of that movie, which I loved that movie, even if it was a little bit cheesy. So yeah, I'm not, like, I am enjoying this, but just not as much as I thought I was going to, so that is making me a little bit sad. But yeah, I'm hoping to finish both of these books tonight, and then that will complete all of the reading challenges, and that would make me very happy. But yeah, I might update you again tonight if I do finish these books, but then I think tomorrow I'll film like a full wrap-up and tell you what books completed which challenges. And yeah, that is all for now. I'll update you guys later. I also feel like it's been a second since you've seen this kid, so she's just hanging out here sleeping on some of my other books. She's pretty disinterested at the moment. Okay, so it's 11:20 at night. Don't know if you can see that, but I just finished The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I feel like I need a day or two to process my thoughts on this book because, like, overall, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I had very high expectations for this book. So many people loved this book. So many people whose opinions I really trusted loved this book. And, like, I think their opinions are completely valid and, like, I still trust their opinions. But I was just so hyped up for this book that I just don't think it fully lived up to all of that. And also, we've been over the personal preference thing of I am a very character-driven reader, and I just didn't particularly care for any of the characters in this story. But the story overall was very good. Like, it was a good twist, and like when you find out everything that happens in the end, it was good. Although there was a little piece of the story at the very end that I wanted to know that either I just missed or they just don't explain it. which is very vague, but I obviously don't want to spoil it for anybody. So yeah, like the overall story is good. I just wasn't super invested in the plot throughout the entire thing because I wasn't very invested in the characters, and that's a big part for me. So I'm not really sure what to rate this book because, like I said, like the overall story is really good, but I just wasn't into it the entire time, if that makes sense. So I'm at like a 3.5 rating at the moment, but it might change. I'm not sure yet. So because there's only 40 minutes left until the end of the night, I'm going to read my ebook. I might like run over midnight because I just want to take a little break from reading for like 15 minutes because yeah, I'm still trying to like process the ending of that book. So yeah, I guess that's all for now. I'll probably just do a little update telling you if I finished this book or when I finish my ebook, and then I plan to do a like full wrap up tomorrow. I think I already said that, but yeah, it's really late if you couldn't tell, and my mind is like turning to mush, so that is all for now. Hey guys, so it is now the next day and Spookathon is officially over. I did end up finishing Elevation last night at like 12:30 at night, so I missed the readathon just a little bit, but I'm still going to count it. So I thought I would just do a final little wrap up and tell you all the books that I read and what challenges each one completed. So the first book that I finished was Midnight at the Bright Ideas Bookstore by Matthew Sullivan, and I ended up giving this 4 stars, I think. I honestly can't remember now, but I really enjoyed this book. It was actually pleasantly surprising because I didn't read a whole lot of good reviews of it on Goodreads, but I actually really liked it. So this completed the challenges of reading a book with red on the cover and reading a book with a spooky word in the title, which we're going with Midnight for this one. So that's 2 challenges down. Then the second book I completed was The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, which I gave 3.5 stars. I actually just filmed a whole review video for it, but it was an absolute disaster because I didn't write down any notes and the thoughts just weren't coming to my head on that day. So on that day, I just filmed it. So today. They're not coming to my head now either. Anyways, this completed the challenge of reading a thriller and reading a book with a spooky setting because it's a pretty spooky setting. It's like set in a old house, but it's like updated to be very technologically advanced, which frankly I find a little bit creepy because technology can glitch and do weird things like it does in this book. So it was a pretty creepy setting. And then I read Elevation by Stephen King. This was an ebook that I read. On Goodreads, it was classified as horror, like that was the top genre that people classified it as. To me, this was not a horror book at all. It was more, in my idea, like science fiction, I guess, because it follows a guy called Scott who is like, I think I already talked about this, but he has this like mysterious illness that you don't know what it is, and spoiler alert, at the end you still don't find out what his deal is, but he's just like rapidly losing weight, but he doesn't physically look like he is, and like if he stands on a scale by himself, he weighs the same as if he stood on a scale and was holding like a ton of bricks. They would be the same weight. So yeah, it was just kind of a weird story, but it had a nice ending, so I ended up giving it 2.5 stars because I was just kind of, you know, it was a bit too weird for me, and it had no explanation at the end, and it was a bit slow at parts, but it had a nice ending, so 2.5 stars. Anyways, the point of that whole thing was I don't really know if you would classify this as horror or not. In my opinion, it would be more science fiction slash just, I don't even know, honestly, I don't know. But this completed the challenge of reading a book that is something you wouldn't normally read because, 1, it's just weird, but 2, I don't normally read ebooks, so that's what I was going for. So yeah, I did complete all of the challenges, which I'm very happy about, and I guess this concludes this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!
You hear that, Samson?